Alex continued his journey through the wasteland, facing new challenges and dangers every day. He was a survivor, but the loss of Lily still weighed heavy on his heart. For months, Alex wandered alone, scavenging for food and shelter wherever he could find it. He was constantly on the move, never staying in one place for too long, always searching for a way to survive. But one day, as he was wandering through a desolate wasteland, he stumbled upon a small village. The villagers welcomed him with open arms, offering him food and shelter, and Alex felt a sense of hope that he hadn't felt in years. The villagers were a small community of survivors, struggling to eke out a living in the harsh and unforgiving wasteland. But despite the many dangers that surrounded them, they had managed to build a life for themselves, and they welcomed Alex into their midst. As time passed, Alex became a valued member of the community, using his survival skills to help protect the village from the dangers that lurked outside their walls. He found purpose in his new life, and slowly but surely, he began to heal from the loss of Lily. Years went by, and the wasteland began to recover. More and more communities began to spring up throughout the land, and Alex found himself becoming a part of something bigger than himself. And then one day, as he was exploring a nearby ruin, he stumbled upon a woman named Mia. She was a survivor like him, with a fierce determination to stay alive in a world that had been turned upside down. Mia and Alex quickly became close, bonding over their shared experiences of loss and survival. They explored the wasteland together, facing new dangers and challenges as a team. And though Alex never forgot Lily, he knew that he had found a new love and a new family in the village. He had finally found a place to call home, a place where he could belong. Years passed, and the wasteland slowly began to recover. The village grew, and new communities began to spring up throughout the land. And though the world would never be the same again, Alex knew that he had found a new purpose and a new hope for the future. He would always remember the woman he had lost, but he would never forget the community that had taken him in and helped him to rebuild his life. And as he looked out at the vast, beautiful wasteland that surrounded him, he knew that he had found a new home, a new family, and a new love that he would cherish for the rest of his days. After several years of living in the village, Alex had grown accustomed to his new life. He had found a community that he belonged to, a place where he could contribute and help protect those he cared about. He had even found love with Mia, a fellow survivor who had also been through the hardships of the wasteland. However, their peaceful existence was about to be disrupted. One night, the village was attacked by a group of monsters that had been terrorizing the surrounding area for months. The creatures were fierce, with sharp teeth and claws that could tear through flesh and bone with ease. The villagers rallied together, determined to protect their homes and families. They had fortified their walls and armed themselves with whatever weapons they could find. Alex, who had become one of the village's most skilled fighters, led the charge. The battle was intense, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The monsters were relentless, and it seemed as though they would never stop. However, the villagers were just as determined, and they fought with all their might to protect their homes. In the midst of the chaos, Alex caught sight of the woman who had initially led him to the photo booth station. She was among the monsters, fighting with them as if they were her allies. Alex couldn't believe it. He had trusted her once, but now he knew that she was no friend of his. He charged towards her, determined to end her treachery once and for all. They fought fiercely, exchanging blows and dodging attacks. In the end, Alex emerged victorious, but not without sustaining serious injuries. As the battle finally drew to a close, the villagers emerged victorious. They had managed to fend off the monsters and protect their homes. But the victory came at a great cost. Many of their friends and loved ones had been lost in the fight. In the aftermath of the battle, the village was left to pick up the pieces. They mourned their losses and celebrated their victory, but they knew that the danger was far from over. The monsters would surely return, and they needed to be prepared. Despite the hardships they faced, Alex knew that he had found a new family in the village. He had fought alongside them, protecting those he cared about and forging bonds that would last a lifetime. And though he would never forget the woman who had led him to the photo booth station, he knew that he had found something much more valuable. He had found a community that he belonged to, a place where he could make a difference and help protect those he cared about. As he looked out at the village, still in ruins from the battle, he knew that they would rebuild. They would continue to fight, no matter what challenges lay ahead. And Alex would be there, fighting alongside them, ready to protect his new family at all costs.